Okay, this is the one. They said numbers like they think this is the new unified field theory. We're gonna give it a try.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that cough looks pretty bad.
Okay.
Try this Robitussin, honey.
The real
I
honey
love
you
what you've
love,
done
plus
with the
the
training
powerful
on the
cough
bear.
relief you
Honestly,
need.
I do.
Mind if I root through your
Yeah,
trash?
not
Now
what
get
they were
powerful
made.
relief with Robitussin Elderberry.
Jim's in your house even if you don't like stocks. You just can't. If you don't like doing the math, just understand that I like doing the math. And I said it, you just use the black body problem. If you're using it for whatever spooky poltergeist you've been chasing around. It unified will make sense in a minute. Apparently
We might have just discovered the fifth fundamental force in nature, something that physicists have been hunting for decades.
Country boys.
But how do we know an
popped up
additional
into the-
force exists in the universe? And why do we really need it in physics? Stay with me. Everything you see
that
in
one
the
spinning way the
universe
hell back
is
we were in
governed
that
by
one.
4 known fundamental forces.
You gotta zoom in.
The
to figure it
first
out.
is gravity, due to which the planets go around the sun. It's the weakest force
Here
in
you wouldn't be
nature,
able to tell, but
and it governs the motion
if I
of
had
celestial
any of that
objects.
inside here banging around
It's all a
instead
play of gravity,
all in its
from
entropy
colliding
form,
galaxies
laying
to
around
merging
before
black
Bill Gates
holes, and
yells
from
at it
revolving
tells it to
satellites
obey the
to the
forbidden law.
orbits of
And
moons
you do what I tell you, Silica.
and planets. The second is the
Yeah,
electromagnetic
it's already
force that
misbehaving.
governs the motion of an electron around the atomic nucleus. Not only
It's
that,
$300.
but the
if they don't have
electromagnetic
one,
force is
shit,
also
they
the
could
force
have a
that directs the
phantom
behavior of light. In
OP
fact,
gaming
light
system
is nothing but
decked
an
out with
electromagnetic
zebra,
wave
$300.
propagating
have
through
drugs.
space.
Me and you, we
The third
feel
is the
same.
weak
We have the same
nuclear force
limitations.
that is
We-
responsible for
and
the
whoever
radioactive
shows up to these
decay of the
Mason games
atoms.
on the down and
And
dirty,
finally, we
it's
have
a
the
rule.
strong nuclear
should be able to
force
build
that
Shangri-La.
binds the protons and neutrons together
and
inside
that
the
ruler
nucleus.
in that way is a
As the name
string
suggests,
theory, loop
it is the most
theory,
potent force of
knotted
nature.
spaghetti mess of hot.
So far, so good.
Googly eye
Now
palates
to
looking at
understand
you
the
on
origin of a new force, we need to go back to the 1950s. It was the era of particle
Yeah, but what I
discoveries.
get is MQ.
Each year, several new
red
particles were being
and strict
discovered.
steer for the
There was a
sector
joke among
for M1.
physicists that the
Those
year's
guys are
Nobel
doing an
Prize
experiment
must go
that
to
shows
someone who does not
graphing
find
and
any
space
new
index.
particle.
A way to produce Schrödinger's
Because
cat.
of
We're gonna make
discoveries,
it till
experimentalists
tomorrow.
were happy,
And
but the theoretical
then it turns
physicists
into
were
the
drowning
cat
in the
can
soup of new
experiment and the
particles.
cat
So they had to
processing
develop an acceptable
pasteurization
theory
factory
that
for
classifies
shipping
and explains the
sizes of
particles,
cats' meals
and most
comparatively
importantly,
to giant
predicts the
cans and ship
existence of
better,
new
but
ones.
The weight to
It took more than a decade to formulate
differential
such a
ratio
theory.
on there to
That theory
NIH,
is the
whether
standard
it be
model of
money,
physics,
or whether it be
unification of 3 of the
So,
4 fundamental
a
forces.
gluon are kind of like, well,
Gravity
the
is
principle
not
I
part
just
of it.
added in there bits and bytes
Einstein's
was a
general
virtual
theory of
particle. It could
relativity
have slid
better
through any
defines
of the
gravity.
states, the quadrants that we were dealing with. and
Understanding
one
the
of those
standard model
graphed
is
to a
vital
45.
to
Why? Because it was
understanding
the
the
most
so-called
common in the
5th fundamental force.
kind of practice. I had all
The
these things,
standard
had all
model
these
table
things, and it was this
contains
thing
4
over here, and it was
categories of
back to
particles.
being hydrogen.
The first
and,
is
well,
the family
tritium
of
there.
6 quarks.
Into
The
whatever
elementary
iron.
particles
Like, it's,
that make up hadrons,
it's working
such as
it.
protons and neutrons.
What's up? What I need to know is
we
the
have
charm
6
on that thing
leptons,
says you and I agree
electron,
yes.
muon,
Ding, sensor
tau,
turns it.
and the 3 neutrinos.
And so that's what
Then
Tau
we have the
figured
4
out. That's
gauge
what his
bosons,
particle
or
kinda
the
says.
force
That's where
carriers,
I operate
photon,
with GPT-3
gluon,
wouldn't.
W,
And
and Z.
so in real small
Finally,
limits
we
like
have the
that,
Higgs
you would say
boson,
the choices to the
The
chess
last
game
missing piece of the
that's
standard
going
model
that way
discovered in the previous
is going to
decade.
base into that kind of superposition
The
of
standard
gambits.
model of
But
physics,
the limits aren't
although
given.
a masterpiece in
And
itself,
GPT-3 may
is
not be able to
incomplete.
ZBrush
For example, it does
Pictionary
not
that
unify gravity
I
with other
need
forces,
this thing
and
to do
doesn't speak of
because
dark
it
matter and dark
wouldn't
energy
register
that make up
the
about
same number of votes that
96%
I
of the
heard from my
observable
guess
universe.
index comparatively to
That's why
processing
physicists have been
time,
looking for a new force in nature
or
for
one of the hitchy
decades.
bitch in there. So I kind of take that
One
guess.
place to find
It
this
augments the
fundamental force
situation, some
is in
M1
the
and M2
family
if
of
you're good with
quarks
neural
by
net
studying
and
the
and some
decay
other
of the
stuff
beauty
like that.
quark.
This stuff
It's
will
an
give you
unstable
everything you
particle
need for
and
forbidden
lives for
orders
just
to the MLS
1.5
check.
trillionths of a second before decaying into other
Ephraim
particles.
right here.
When a beauty
And
quark decays,
when I'm doing
it
stone
transforms
mill
into a
cants,
set of lighter
boards
particles,
cover the same
such as
spectrum, extra
electrons,
boards,
through the
E,
influence
X,
of the
E,
weak
Y,
force.
and whatever
So
Sanford
one of the
Board,
ways
but
a new
obviously
force
that's
of
an
nature
inverted.
might
I
make
know
itself known to
how
us
to
is by subtly
really
changing
normalize
how
that
often
step
beauty quarks
so it
decay into
behaves in the
different
way
types
we
of
make it
particles.
work. When I hear any
According
numbers
to the
these
standard
people are
model,
gonna tell me,
a
it's
beauty
still
quark
positive or
should
negative.
not
We're just in
discriminate
the
between
step
an
where,
electron
so
and a
instead
muon
of
while
count
decaying. A
ratios,
muon is a carbon copy
you
of an
know,
electron,
management, Stanford numbers, it's
except that
gonna
it is
bump up
200
real
times
big.
heavier.
And it's gonna be
The
heavier.
rate at which the beauty quark
But the
decays
person who's
into a
catching this little tiny
muon
thing, you
must
know,
be equal to
this
the
little tiny
electron.
particle, this
But in March 2021,
1-1.
the researchers found that the
Leadership
muon
conversation in
decay
the Army
was only
is a
happening about
particle.
85%
And that
as
thing
often
decays
as the
because
electron
we're on
decay.
Salty Island, we're on the Himalayas.
Nature seems to
we
be
are
preferring one decay
anywhere
channel
where what
over
is
the other,
up
a violation of the law of
charm
leptin
saying, yes, we are in
universality.
those conditions. We know.
While it was exciting to see
to
this
bring that up in
anomaly,
normal conversation,
there
yes,
was a 1 in
mathematically
1,000
fundamental.
chance that the result was a statistical fluke,
GPT-3 needs to end
down to a
that
random
first step
statistical
in
wobble.
that first 4-by grid.
Physicists call
to
this
make
value 3 sigma.
GPT-3
1 in
needs to
1,000
make
may
a,
not sound like
you know,
a
that
lot,
heart rate monitor
but to be
some of
really
the
sure
chi in
about
the
discovery
room,
or
help you
observation,
censor.
we need to
We
get
got
to 5
2
sigma,
eyes and 2 ears
corresponding
right
to
now.
less than
Use it.
1 in a million chance of the effect being down to a statistical
What's up?
fluke. Researchers now analyze more data
At any rate.
from the LHCb experiment. The B in LHCb stands for beauty.
When I use
However,
a periodic
scientists
table,
never
I'm
actually study
using
beauty quark
a
decays directly,
XL
since all quarks are bound together to make
model.
larger particles.
And what I had actually
The
was
March study
ideal
looked at beauty
gas
quarks
or
that were
a
paired up
rock,
with up
right?
quarks.
And
The
inside
new
here,
results studied 2 decays.
that model was actually
One where the beauty
patterned,
quarks
so I
were
had to
paired
figure out
with
a way to
down
do pattern.
quarks,
How'd you do that? Well,
and
you start
another
with the
where they were
smallest
also
numbers,
paired
1-1.
with
They don't
up
make any
quarks.
smaller than that.
The fact that the
easiest to
pairing
move,
is
they're
different
easiest to do a
should not
thing.
matter
Burning's
because the
not really
decay going
hard.
on deep down is the same.
But burning,
Scientists expect to see the
Something
same
heavy.
effect if there is a new force out there, which is precisely what they saw. This
So,
time, muon decays were only
that
happening
muon
around
would
70%
go
as
into
often
why you leave
as
a
the electron
manager to burn the
decays,
6-inch
but
step
with a large
that you're
error.
sending off to.
meaning that the result is about 2 sigma from the standard model, around a 2 in 100 chance of being a statistical anomaly. Although not accurate enough to be firm evidence of a
I
new
haven't heard
force,
anything wrong yet.
this shows that the new study aligns perfectly with the
Should.
previous
Not that I have
result
a hydron collider.
and supports the idea that
They
we
do.
might be on the brink of a
almost things do the
significant
same
breakthrough. Meanwhile,
And I know
other
by the
experiments
hack,
at the
being that
LHC
this is a
and the Bell
three-phase
2 experiment in
dimensionally
Japan
of 5
are
motor.
closing in on the same
And those are the
measurements.
two
It's
internal
exciting
containments,
because
but
this
this is
study
also
might open a
two,
new
but
window to the
1,
most
0,
fundamental
1,
ingredients
2-bit
of the
compressions,
universe.
+1, +1.
If you're interested in studying
And which way
astrophysics
they
at
go
home,
in superposition,
make sure
they
to
do
check out our Basics of
multi-matrices.
Astrophysics
So you cheat
series,
that, Dr.
the link to
Strange,
which is given
by
in the
actually
description.
pulling out some
This series explains everything at the most
graph
fundamental
system that
level,
pulls
from the
that down
EM
in there,
spectrum
and
to
you get
telescopes,
nailed to it.
and from the birth of stars to the formation of black holes and galaxies.
Somebody will get out there, spit on the cross, and I promise, 100%. Ultra Nightmare Lucy, you can get all kinds of fun stuff popping up. Well, I don't know, maybe Goku figured it out with his monkey stuff. You know, there was one monkey before all their monkeys, and we called him AO. I don't know. I knew. And that turned into this whole thing. Like back to gorillas and squirrels and unified field theories and all. The tree. The beaten tree. The truly beaten tree. The Ouija board. Again, we'll lay you out, buddy.